Welcome to the show.
Hello.
It's Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Always a big day for the two of us.
Mainly
Big
for
one.
you, bro.
I know. It's kind of like an unofficial birthday, if you know, if you will.
That's great. I love that.
Which I prefer. I prefer it because my mother did. I did drown in a lake on my birthday. So
Yeah.
I don't like remembering that one as much as this one. It was a lot more fun.
Yeah. So when you were up at the lake,
right,
and all those kids were like drowning you and tormenting you,
mm-hmm.
Did you know then, like, well, I gotta get revenge?
Here's the thing. My mother's been so like a helicopter mom. Have you ever heard that expression, helicopter mom? Now, I have a helicopter mom, and
Right.
I told her, look, I can handle myself. Sure, these kids are being I call them dweebs or dickheads or assholes, but honestly, I could deal with it. I'm my own man. But mom didn't want to hear it. And honestly, she was right because, like I said, I was drowned in camp. It was a joke. I mean, and I got the joke.
I thought it was, for a little bit, I was laughing. I was laughing until I realized, what happened. And then I was like,
I mean, well, that's, I mean, when people are, it's like, hey, Giddy, I don't know. I didn't even know what the joke was, but we were all having fun. And, but that's the 80s. You could kill kids and you could have fun. It was like, that's what you did. You didn't, like, it wasn't about being right or wrong. It was like, hey, we're having fun. We're going to jump our dirt bike off a cliff. We're going to invite an alien to come live with us. There's all the shit that you did back then, Different time.
Oh, I wanted to say something real quick if I could. And I don't know if you've been getting a lot of this too, but people need to chill out about the mask thing. What you guys are dealing with, that's a different kind of mask. And I mean, sure, wear it, but that's up to you guys. But you don't need to come after us and scream, get in our faces, threaten us, tell us where we live.
I mean, I think a lot of people, what we're referring to is there's a lot of signs up that says, well, if you're vaccinated, you don't got to wear a mask. And now we are vaccinated.
Of course, we're not fucking idiots.
Pfizer, 2 shots,
Moderna, dose.
Yeah, and I'm going to wear the mask. Honestly, for a couple reasons. It's my thing. And I'm grossly and hideously deformed underneath maggots, and it's a disgusting sight.
I've been stabbed through the eyes. Generally Curtis, I mean, God bless her, but she has done a number on me.
I mean, when was she gonna quit? When is she gonna quit?
I know Judy Greer just needs to take over, right?
Let me ask you something. I gotta tell you. I thought you were done for, Mike. I watched that documentary on you, and they got you down in that basement. The fire is going. How the hell you get out of there? I mean, you are a crafty SOB.
You'll see. You'll see. You got to watch the new one. There's a new one coming out this October. Yeah.
Now that's gonna be good. That's something I'm gonna go to the theater for. You know what I'm saying? Free guy. Sure. But I'm going to go to see how my buddy gets. I support all the work that you do, your music career. And I know that didn't work out good for you.
I appreciate that, man. A lot of actors, when they try to get into music, a lot of people tease them and taunt them. People make fun of Johnny Depp's band.
Oh, yeah. Jared Leto's band,
30
Seconds to Mars.
Yeah. Jason Schwartzman's band. Well, that's pretty good band.
You know, he was in a band that probably the one that was probably the most successful. But all these guys.
But the point is, a lot of people think that it's like a vanity project, but we're good, aren't we? I mean, we're pretty good.
I mean, your covers are great. You know, you do it all, and you put a fun spin on classic Beatles stuff. You know, when you did that hip hop rap.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. When you guys covered all of Huey Lewis and the News's sports from tip to tail, some T to T.
Classic.
This was great. That was a great. Now we had a great time at that bar. We had a great time, and then we did kill everybody inside of there. But that was again. What do you expect? We old habits die hard.
Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do right now? I think I'm gonna take off my mask.
What? Well, maybe. I mean, look. I think maybe what we should do is maybe just like plug that. Me, Jason Voorhees, Mike Myers, we got our own Twitch channel. We're out there. We're thankful to Rob and Paul for letting us take over here Friday 13th for a couple minutes just to kind of talk about, maybe want to tell people some of the programming we got over there before we take off.
Come on over to our Twitch channel, Voorhees and Myers, twitch.tv/Voorhees Myers, suck and fuck. And basically we got we do minor surgery on animals.
That is one of my favorite shows. We bring on guest animals every week, and we operate on them. See what's inside their guts and stuff.
We also got a show called Grilling and Chilling. It's just us grilling and chilling.
What are we grilling? We won't tell. We got a great one. We do it every Wednesday night. It is from the closet of a young high schooler. His name is Devin. And we are just hanging out in the closet.
He has no idea. He has no idea we're in there.
Devin is gonna get it. But that that's a sampling of what you got. And of course, we're always out there playing Fortnite. We love gaming.
Oh yeah, I love to play Fortnite, man. We're big on Fortnite.
Like, subscribe, and do all that. But yeah, maybe we'll get ourselves out of here. Hey Molly, pull us out, and then you can put Rob and Paul in. Why don't you do that? Whoa, wow, that was
those guys are great.
Wow, they were great. It's so cool to see them branch out and do. I don't know. I'm proud of them for not getting stuck in those stereotypes, those 80s stereotypes.
Yeah, I think those guys are a lot. There's a lot of misunderstood about those guys. I think that they come off. You would think that they would be pretty hardcore dudes, but they're kind of civilized guys.
Look, they're always going to fall into their old habits, but they're trying to learn. If you look at what they've been donating to charity, they've been getting involved in activism. They just have been, to me, I grew up with them. So to see them also adapting to the time is something that I'm proud of as just a lifelong fan. As a lifelong fan, and people did say like, subscribe, kill. Yeah, you can do that on their channel, but definitely check out their channel.
Someone's definitely going to start twitch.tv/Voorhees and Myers suck and fuck.
It would be I bet you it would be a very successful twist.
It would probably be probably more successful than this.
Probably. Look, we are very successful. We move around our dates all the time. We didn't do the show.
We didn't do the show yesterday. Did we tell anyone? I don't think I told anyone. Okay, I forgot.
We told the diehards. We told the diehards. We told them in our Discord. I did not announce it publicly because I don't know about you, but I still feel like I'm kind of in this kind of haze. Are we in? I know.
My brain is a little I think we're all kind of dealing with that. Like, I felt like I was sort of on the verge of insanity until we all got vaxxed, and then I was like, and now I'm going back down. I can feel myself going like back down into the rabbit hole again. I was just at the UPS store. I'm not trying to brag, but I can afford
those plugs up. Everybody use those.
No.
Get
I'm
those
not
plugs and the emojis. Finally, Rob is big UPS.
The UPS store. Actually, my brother works for UPS, so he's a pilot, so I should plug him.
Wow.
But
why is UPS better than FedEx Go?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not really qualified to plug them, but my brother does work for them. So, anyway, I was at the UPS store. I can afford it. No big deal. Sure. I go there when I misordered something off Amazon. It was not a tactical whip. I know where this is going. I ordered a golf club. I told you I'm trying to play golf so I can play with my father-in-law. My father-in-law is really good at golf. I suck, so I'm trying to get better. I ordered a training club, but I ordered the left-handed. This is boring. Anyway, I had to return it. Go to the UPS store. Who did I see at the UPS store? Just take a wild guess. Big celebrity. Big celebrity.
Pasadena.
This is the Pasadena UPS store.
Terry Crews.
Fuck, man.
What?
Pretty close.
Wow. All right, pretty close. All
no,
right.
Not really close, but
David Harbour.
These are such specific tests. No, Alfred Molina.
Whoa. Yeah. He just got married.
He did?
Yes. I've been reading about him this week. He had a big wedding.
That explains he was getting something notarized. He was there with his wife.
Oh.
And so I was right in line behind him, but he was masked. I was masked. I love talking about random celebrity bump-ins. I don't know him at all, and I didn't say anything to him, but I was trying to, I'm also very bad with people's names. I was like, oh, that's fucking, but he was wearing shoes. I looked down to his shoes and his shoes said Alfred on them. Like someone had sent him like some shoes that had his own name monogrammed on them. So anyway, he was,
by the way, he just got into trouble, in big trouble this week.
Oh no.
He spoiled all of Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
They've been keeping it a secret for such a long time, like what this new movie is. And someone just like, hey, are you in Spider-Man? He's like, oh yeah, I shot it. I did this. I did that. And everyone's like, no.
Wow. Well, he at the UPS store, he was he and his wife were giving each other power of attorney for some. It was some sort of big marital thing. I could tell.
There it is.
So I'm glad that I'm just out there. I shouldn't give this away for free. I should, when this happens, I should just be filming, right, and then sell it to TMZ.
Well, I mean, you can put this on the TikTok. I mean, we're look. I don't know, Rob, if you're on TikTok. We got to get on TikTok. That's where the cool things are.
I know. I got to get on TikTok. Oh, but I will say this. This is I'll wrap up the Alfred Molina thing. They needed his phone number. They just said, what's your phone number? They're trying to get his thing notarized, and I heard him say his phone number, and so I just, like a stalker, I made a mental note. It was a very easy number.
Okay.
And so I decided it would be really funny to come on here and I'll give out his number. We'll put it up on the screen. Let's all carpet bomb him with text messages.
Dox Molina, as people are saying.
Let's dox him. We'll all send him however many people are watching this right now. What do we got? Like 500,000, 600,000?
This is normally on Thursday. It's about 1 million. I think on Friday we're going to about 2-3 million in here. Yeah.
Okay. So let's dox Molina, but let's threaten him, let's.
No. It would be the scariest thing.
Do you remember when we did that on stage? Yeah. Oh yeah, we
doxed somebody who was worthy of doxing.
Oh yeah.
The person we doxed was he was a high school teacher who was messing around with one of his students.
Yeah, he was like a volleyball coach at Paul and I were doing a stand-up show. We used to host a stand-up show called Crash Test, and somehow we were talking to the crowd and we said something like, who's the worst person? We had this idea that we all wanted to get the audience. Everyone was going to text someone right then.
Kind of like what we did with Jerry O'Connell when we all bombed his Instagram post. We're like, hey, we know what you did, or we saw the thing. Yeah.
So Paul and I thought it would be a good idea to, do this live we used to do the show at like 11 o'clock on a Monday on stage at UCB in LA. And so this person in the audience volunteered this other person. They said, oh, I'm a teacher and I work with this guy who's like a volleyball coach or something like that. And he's like hooking up with these like high school girls and he's a piece of shit. And, I know him. So here's his phone number. So we all texted this guy at like 11 o'clock on a Monday night. And we all wrote the same thing. It was like, I know what you did. What was it? It was
I know. Yeah, I think it was just like, we know what you did.
Yeah, it was something simple.
It was just very vague.
We know what you did. Yeah. And I can't remember if we
ran him out of town.
It was
he
really
got freaked out and he left at school.
Yeah.
So I think we did perform a civic duty on some level.
Yeah. We're good people is what I'm saying. If you need,
we use doxing for good.
For good.
What? Yeah. Really, we were able to really spin that story.
What about a TV show called The Good Doxers? The Good Doxers. Every week is an hour-long drama of us doxing someone that deserves it.
Yeah, you come in and it's like people's court. You pitch your case. Like,
oh, that's good.
I have this issue. This is what's gone on. I need to do something. And we determine whether or not we would never give that number out to the general public, but we would give it out to the studio audience to manipulate, because we don't want to take it to another level. We want to keep it insular. You'd have to promise not to share it after you leave the audience. And then I think that would be interesting. I think that would be the show, The Good Doctors.
The Good Doxers. I like that.
There was we have our first guest coming up in a couple minutes, but I guess I can maybe tell you a little bit about what I've been up to. Twanch had a
I don't remember asking you what you'd been up to.
Oh,
what you want me to set it up? What have you been up to?
You don't. I mean, no, I don't. You know what? We don't even have to talk about it. Let's not even get into it. Let's not even get into Twanch.
No, I want to, because the last week when we did the show, I was broadcasting from my father's fireplace store.
Yes.
And so I got to kind of talk about my life and my personal life. And so, I'd like to hear about yours. I don't know enough about your private life.
Well, okay. Well, I'll tell you a couple things. Twanch turned 5.
Yeah.
And we had a very small Twanch Day party for him. But it involved something that I have heard about but never partaken in, which is
salvia.
Kid salvia. Kids love it. I want to show you what we did here. We actually did this here. Hold on, I'm gonna pop it up on the stream. Hold on. I'm gonna just make sure I have here we go. This is the right version of this. This is, hold on. I'm gonna make sure I'm doing it the right way. Wait, I got it. Oh, there it is. Okay, boom. This is what we did.
What?
We got a foam party.
Oh,
we blew it out.
Gosh, I am so jealous of this. I am doing this for my daughter's 5-year-old party. How do you do this?
So much fun. It's a dude with a funnel, that funnel right there, and a small tub of water and soap. He brings his own music. He was masked up, and he just shot foam at these kids. I have another picture.
But now, does it go in your driveway? Whoa!
Rob, it disappeared as quickly as it came. It's just soapy water. It's soapy water. Yeah. It's a little bit messy.
And how much cocaine? How much cocaine is in there, or do we even? How do they measure
I think it's
that?
Like it's amount. If you want, well, I mean, sorry, this is on air. None.
Great. Tell me off the air how much cocaine you put in there.
Course, a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they made the kids have fun, but it was so much fun.
That's so cool.
And
is it just the two of them?
Simple. No, this is he had about I would think maybe like 5 friends over. They were from his like little DK class. But I will tell you this much. Here we go. I'm gonna just pop this off.
Oh my gosh, what a great idea.
It was such a good idea. I will tell you, I don't know how you feel like this, like as a parent. Like I wanted to partake in the foam.
Oh yeah,
thing, But then I also felt but I don't want to be that parent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to be.
Well, could he just hang out or come back late at night and like you and June?
Well, June,
which by the way, we need to talk about. We'll talk about the June thing later because I just haven't.
Fine. Oh, there. You want to come on, sweetie? No, she doesn't want to come on right now.
Really?
Hold on a second. Let me see. June, you want to come on, sweetie? No. Okay, yeah.
We'll talk about it. Well, I got a little surprise for you. We'll get into it later. But
all right,
I've been doing some research on this. But anyway.
Okay. Well, we do have our guest here, so I don't want to delay our guest and talk about all.
I'm excited about
where
the show,
June is or where she's not.
Yeah.
Grace and Frankie, the new episodes dropped. Last night. Brand new season.
So, but that's not a live show. That's not proof that June is alive. Those were shot.
Those were the pre-quarantine episodes. Yeah.
So those were shot a long time ago. It doesn't prove that June is alive. And
she wants me to say something. She says tell Rob I am alive. Okay, I'm telling him right now. She says, yeah, she's alive. Okay. Well, let's not even worry about this. Our next guest, our first guest, is the host of a podcast that is beloved. Is a stand-up comedian who
huge podcast.
Yeah. You made it weird. He is a stand-up that is revered. He is he has been the star of his own HBO show.
Yes.
One of the most wonderfully funny, spiritual, good hang dudes of all time, Mr. Pete Holmes.
Yeah.
Bam.
What
is happening, buddy?
Yes. Hi guys, I haven't seen you in ages.
Pete Holmes, I have not seen you in so long. Do you still live in Los Feliz? I don't mean to out where you live, but I've been to your home. Yeah. And I was in that area a while ago with my daughter, and I was like, I wonder if Pete still lives there.
By the way, I don't know how we have never bumped into each other in this neighborhood.
You're one of the reasons I moved to this neighborhood, Paul, because you were like, you said something that I say to people all the time is you go, I park my car and I'm done with the car. Like at like 5 o'clock, and you don't have to go back in the car to do anything. You can walk to the movies, you can walk to the
Am I right? There's a lot of good things about it. I got an electric bike now, and so now I can compliment my walking with an electric bike ride because it's very hilly here. And I would take my bike out and be very triumphant in the beginning of it, and then
when did you get an electric bike? I didn't know about that purchase.
Oh, I got it mid-quarantine because Kroll came cruising by my house, and I was like, what is up with this bike? It was a very cool looking bike. Yeah. And he was like, dude, you got to get an electric bike.
Wait, you could tell it was electric by the aesthetic? Like it looked sleek and cool?
Yeah, this bike company that we both bought our bikes from, they make very cool looking electric bikes. They look very much like a bike, but they're stylish. They actually made, whatever. They are very cool looking bikes. And so he was saying, like, I want to get out of the house. I need to get out of the house, but I couldn't do these hills, which is what I felt like every time in quarantine. I was like, I'm going to go for a bike ride. And then it'd be like, Rob, you live in flatland area. You were telling me that you're riding at night and having a great time. That would never happen here. So I went all in on an electric bike. It's made everything great. I ride all around.
What's the cheese? What's the cheese?
Yeah, how much that cost?
It was an expensive purchase. It was
$600,000.
It was $600,000. It was a $3,000 purchase.
Wow.
Okay. But
I'm gonna steal your bike.
Hey, please.
Please.
But yeah, it is. I guess that is in the grand scheme of things cheaper than other ones. I got the cheapest one that they had on their site.
I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to nice thing shame you. This is what everybody. You mentioned my podcast. Almost every episode starts because we record back here with someone noticing the sauna. I'm trying to point at it, but
I see it. I didn't know what that was. Yeah.
It's a sauna. It's about the same price as the bike, so it's not as fancy as it's. I mean, let's not be crazy, but I use it every single day. So
how long does that take to get going? Like when you turn it on, does it take like? Do you have to like wait like an hour, 2 hours, or
20 minutes? 20 minutes.
Whoa.
Because it's not actually hot in there. What it is you're waiting for the panels. This is so boring.
No, I want to hear it.
Welcome everybody watching and listening. This is what people from LA are talking about.
Dad talk.
Electric bikes, saunas. We'll get to Rob's new movie or whatever it is. This is what we talk about. But because it's an infrared sauna, it heats you. It doesn't heat the air.
Oh,
it's not actually. It is kind of hot in there, but it's not as hot. The temperature on the outside is how hot it's cooking you to.
So talk to me about sauna, because there was like a book that was out that stressed me out too much, so I had to drop it and get rid of it. Like I actually left it at the hotel that I was at. It was this guy interviewed a bunch of people, like all these things that you need to do to live a good, healthy life. And it was, I feel like it's some sort of a podcast or something. And one of the things where they were talking about, a lot of people have like sauna, like a morning sauna ritual, and they have a lot of cooling sheets and things like this. And I was like, I'll never be able to afford these things. So I can't live in this world. But
you made the bike choice. You went
the bike choice. I should have gone.
You're riding your sauna around the town.
What is it doing for you? I want to know what it's doing. Like I mean this not in a judgmental way. Like I'm very curious. Yeah.
I didn't feel judged in the least. You're right though. It's funny. Our friend Jason Manzukis, because he can't eat eggs or he explodes. I sometimes see him at vegan places that I go to for just electively. And he's always getting a shot of ginger. And I'm like, why do you get a shot of ginger? And he's like, whenever I look into, I can't do it very well. Whenever I look into like what the miracle cure is, it's always ginger. It's always ginger. I don't know why my Manzukis is Mark Wahlberg. I don't understand.
By the way, your Manzukis is a much more subdued Manzukis.
It's like, ginger. Well, I haven't seen him in a really long time either. He's
no one has. No one has. Yeah, he's
like
hiding out.
Diane. We don't know where these people are.
Yeah.
We're doing shots of ginger, and that's how I feel about the infrared sauna. Is it's like she's not really dead, by the way. The way you didn't laugh.
We don't know. Well, it's a big controversy, Pete, that we haven't.
You didn't laugh, Paul.
Yeah, no one has seen June in like a long time, and I've been very suspicious of this.
You want to see June, Rob?
Yes, I want to see.
Come
her.
over here, and I'll show you June.
I don't. That sounds like you're gonna the beginning of a horror movie.
Oh, I'll show you June. Just make sure you have your affairs in order, and I'll show you her.
Okay. See, I don't want that.
You'd be a good horror villain. I could see it.
Yeah, there's a lot of darkness there.
Yeah, for sure. Rob, you're softening and becoming more warm, and Paul is going, I feel sociopath.
I challenge you to both come over to my house. You can meet my wife. Meet her, talk to her, do whatever you'd like.
I see like a Malkovichian future for you. Yeah, I'm really liking this.
He's
tell June, not that she cares, but people often tell me, no joke, that her episode, it's a real tearjerker, that episode. I don't know if You Made It Weird. I don't know if you listened to it. It's really sweet.
It is a great episode. Well, your podcast does something that I feel like I have an issue with a lot of podcasts.
Here we go.
I have an issue with podcasts being that I think a lot of people think I can be an interviewer. I can make space for a 40-minute conversation and it will be something that you can't Google. And most of it, it's like, I've already heard it. And unless you have a take or tact, and you're one of those people who were there very early on and you had a very specific tact, and your interviews are very different than anybody else's interviews. And when you hear an interview on your show, it's a very different experience.
I really appreciate that. That's really nice. I get some guff for like interrupting too much, and I'm always like, just listen to any other podcast if you want to hear them finish that anecdote that I know they've told. Like they're going into interview mode, and I'm like, stop, and I'm trying to get them to the not June or not you guys. You guys were great, but sometimes, especially with the bigger guests. Like Adam Sandler did it recently, and you have to stop them from going into PR mode. Not Sandler specifically, by the way.
By the way, what was that like? Because he's a guy who is not like, I think what you challenge people to do, and Rob, I don't know how your experience was, but you challenge people to like kind of drop the facade and talk about some things that are a little bit more meaningful, truthfully.
Yeah, I would say that. I've considered like sometimes at the top of the episode just saying something almost like an invocation, meaning like we all woke up in this life, none of us asked for it, like none of us understand it, we're floating in space. Like these are the things I tell myself to make a meal taste better, literally makes my connection to you guys on this podcast richer, like instantly richer, to just go, fuck guys, the three of us are alive at the same time, and we're all in a puzzle that seems to take longer than a lifetime to figure out. You know what I mean? It's like racquetball. You'll never perfect racquetball or golf. You'll also never really have it perfectly figured out. So like we're all in the same foxhole, kind of. We need to figure, not that it's hostile, but we need each other. So I don't really. It's earnest. I'm not just like, let's have a. I don't think you were saying I'm doing that. But I don't want to have like a kooky podcast, but I want to get to like, what do you make of this? What is the framework of the universe, whether it's religious or spiritual? Or one thing, if I could share one thing, is like so many of my guests come in and say they're atheists, and then you just push through a little bit and they have like a mythology. That's not to put it down. I'm saying they have some sort of, they have ritual, they have anthropomorphic beliefs of feelings, and not necessarily deities, but we're all in the same boat. I'm trying to do a bit right now about how like we all believe in the Big Bang, And either you believe in God erupted into the Big Bang. That's what religious people would say, religious language. Or you believe that nothing erupted into the Big Bang.
Pete, I was waiting for you to go like, or you believe that Sheldon came out of the Big Bang.
Hilarious.
And
that
we'll
is
edit.
Really
we got to edit it. We'll edit it to make that, because that's great.
Because you can tell it's actually not a long-winded point, but if it was too long, you could just make that the punchline and we're done. But what I'm saying is we're all in the same boat. God or nothing erupted into everything.
Yeah.
Either way, God erupted into everything or nothing erupted into everything. What's the difference? Like either something called God that we can't see, touch, taste, science can't prove erupted into everything, or nothing, something we can't see, touch, taste, and science can't prove erupted into everything. Nothing doesn't exist. Like we don't have nothing. Like show me nothing. The air around us isn't nothing. It's teeming with life. It's made of the same atoms and molecules that you are. And so is outer space. Like we have evidence of the effects of nothing, but we have evidence of the effects of God. So what I'm saying is like maybe nothing is just the name of your God, because it's a very magical thing with nothing that erupted into everything. That's a godlike behavior.
Well, very few people like believe in nothing. Like, you know, there are, you know, whatever it is, signs or it even could be an internal belief, or
even like nature. I even feel like nature and like the natural evolution of things is beautiful and sort of mystical in a way too. But I mean, this is kind of going way back to your original point, Scheer. But like, what I like, Pete, about your podcast, and I'm not trying to like pump it, but like, is that you do have a point of view. And I guess what I am so tired of in listening to a lot of podcasts, and I don't listen to that many anymore, but like you said, Paul, so many people think they're good at interviewing and they just start at like, tell me about how you got into comedy. Tell me about and then it's just a chronological thing of like, and I've done like a million of theirs. Like, well, then I moved to New York, and then I performed in New York for like 11 years. And then I moved to LA, and like, just like, what are we doing? Like, is this the podcast? This is the show that people love?
Like, if you don't like how I do it, which I completely understand, just listen to Rob Hubel on any other podcast. You will hear the story of how he started in New York. And if you want to listen to mine, you're going to hear me interrupt that story, because the three of us are improvisers. You guys are great improvisers. I just did some improv, and I love and respect improv. But when someone comes in, there's a lot going on. A question I like to ask is like, how are you doing right now? Forget about the story of how Rob is doing or how Paul is doing. Like, well, in general, I'm like a 72% happy person. But like, how are you right now? What do you believe right now? Because we're changing, but we act like we're so solid. But really, like, if you can interview how someone is right now today, it's going to be novel just by definition to the fact that you're tuning into how they are. Yeah. And we're all million-sided Rubik's Cubes that are constantly changing.
But I think we also are so trapped in the idea that, like, do you really want to know? And I do believe that you give space for that, right? Like,
that's a good point. Because I always assume that people don't, you know, I mean, my worst fear is that, you know, even while we're having this chat, I'm watching the comments on the side of this because I'm worried that this is boring, that I'm boring, that, you know, that's just as a performer, you just hope that like, oh God, I hope this isn't, but fuck it. You can't be entertaining all the time to everyone, you know? So you just talk about whatever you feel like talking about, and hopefully people like you for you, and who cares? But like, but that's my fear too, is that like people don't really want to know, you know?
Right. And that's the magic. One of the things I've learned from therapy is you can just declare a space safe. Nothing's really happened, but when both of you guys did the show, I'm sure I asked you something about a loss or a weird moment or whatever it might have been, and you just say it's a safe space. And I know that sounds manipulative, but the truth is, if you said something and you didn't want to, we would edit it out, and we do that all the time.
But isn't there a truth to, and I mean, look, I can say this, whether or not I live by it, who knows? But there's a truth to, those are the conversations that resonate. Those are the conversations where there's commonality, right? Because, you know, Rob telling a story about moving, you know, from New York to LA, like maybe not everyone has that specific thing about UCB, but if we talk about love, loss, belief, it's like we all, like, that is the one thing that unites us, but it is also the one thing that I think we ultimately stay away from. And if we don't stay away from it, we just kind of align ourselves purely in the politics of something, which is also a polarizing thing. So like it's interesting thing to be like, well, these are things that have no politics to them. What I believe. This is what I believe, and we don't have to talk about anti-vax. We could talk about just belief and how I heal. If I heal with nature or sauna bed, whatever it is,
something evergreen. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Pete, how was so going back to the Sandler thing, like I wouldn't know where to begin with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would have a million questions, but like, how do you approach an interview like that? Do you think about it beforehand, or you just kind of like wing it and see sort of where he goes with it?
I really think you guys do know, in the sense that like it's like preparing for an improv set, meaning I think it's about trying to get into a certain state of listening and responding and looking for those clues. It's almost like being like this is making it sound way more impressive and important than it is, but it is a little bit like being a cop or something. Like you're looking for like, wait, why did you kind of like laugh when I asked about your dad or whatever? Like, or it's more like being a therapist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a cop, but like, yeah, I could read. Sometimes I'll go on YouTube and go like 15 crazy things about Adam Sandler, and they never help. It never helps. You always go like, "What do you think? Heard you don't like pepperoni," and then you can tell they're like, "Fuck, I've told this before." But if you're interviewing Adam Sandler during the quarantine, that was kind of a layup. It's like, "What is this like? Your daughter just ran in the room. What is that? How's that been?"
Right.
And also playing a game of chicken, being like, "I'll talk the whole time." Like, and if you don't, if you don't come to the table, this is just going to be you listening to me. I know that sounds crazy, but like, I'm that kind of person. If you start going like, well, that's when I got caught masturbating at summer camp. Like, I'll be like, well, one time I fell and I shit myself. Like, you always want to like out embarrass each other. Like,
well, that I do love is like, I mean, I think everyone just loves that sort of one-upsmanship in a conversation. When someone goes out on a limb to tell a funny story about something that reminds you of a funny story that you have, and you just keep the ball in the air or whatever. But like, I love that sort of stuff.
Have you ever seen a ghost? Have you ever almost died? Have you ever seen a UFO? If I don't have anything else to say, I'll just say, have you ever almost died? Almost everybody has some. This is when I almost died story. And I want to have deathbed conversations, and not to be morbid, but I want to have funeral conversations.
Yes.
The conversations you have at a funeral, it's like, we just lost the beautiful Trevor Moore. It's like, that's having this heart opening effect in the community, because people are going like, fuck, right. Like, don't forget. Like, don't forget. We're flowers. Rob, you're flowers. You're beautiful. I love you. Paul, you're a flower. You're beautiful. I love you. It's not a foregone conclusion. And not that we're going to use that as fuel for good podcasting, but that's the fuel of life. Ice cream tastes good because you're going to die one day. And if we never died, we'd be like, who fucking cares? I'm actually on a don't eat ice cream so I can suffer trip because I last forever. Who cares? Like, life, the engine of life is.
What do you think? Do you bump into people though like that? Because, I imagine at a certain point you've been doing this show for a long time. You've had a lot of guests, and you've probably had guests that were booked and guests that you booked yourself. But when you get, sometimes I know a lot of the times I'll get a call, and it's very different for How Did This Get Made? But for How Did This Get Made, they're like, oh my God, so-and-so loves the show. They want to do it. And always the name is pretty big. You're like, whoa, really? And then I have a great producer, Cody. And I say to Cody, I'm like, go back and make sure they know what they're in store for. And then we do that check. And 90% of the guests just drop out after that, because like, oh, you don't listen to the show. Your publicist is like, I want you to be on this show. They don't even know what the show is.
I had that with Gethard recently. They were like, Gethard is dying to come back on. I'm like, why didn't he text me? So I texted him, and he was like, I'm not in LA. I don't want to do. It's not that he didn't want to, but he didn't say, can I please do it? Just ask. So that's happened to you a bunch.
Well, it just happens to me. Like, I know how to read through it now. Like, I'm never gonna like. I don't ever want someone to come on the show and not know why they're there. Like, because I do feel like the way that now it's kind of lined up is like, we got you on all these podcasts, and you just show up and you're like, what am I doing here? Like,
has that, can I ask, just because like I don't have a podcast, like how has that changed what you guys do? Like, is it all publicist driven now? Like, are there just, because it seems like that's an easy not easy, but an easier thing for a publicist to seem like he or she is working for you. You know what I mean? Like when I hire a publicist, it's like, oh, I want to do Colbert and I want to do, all this. They're like, yeah, it's going to be a long time. They're booked for like months. So in the meanwhile, why don't you do this podcast, like
go on Dax Shepard, go on Pete Holmes.
So is it all
grateful? Like if a publicist reaches out to me, I'm almost always like, this is great, because the way I book it is I just walk around like an idiot and run into people. Like I just hosted New Faces for JFL, which was great because
virtually.
What's that?
Virtually?
No, they did it at Dynasty Typewriter.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay,
yeah, here in LA. And I did not do it for this reason. I've done it other years and I haven't done this, but I was like, wait, I could just book all of these younger people.
Look at all these people that are awesome.
Yeah.
And they're awesome. I was like, fuck, I just benefited from dozens and dozens of showcases of vetting to get these great people. And I've been doing like a JFL New Faces sort of, I guess you could call it a season of my show, just dropping some of the new faces. But when publicists do that, I thought you were going to say, Rob, how often do I get somebody and I'm like, oh no one told me.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Yeah. Have you gotten somebody where you walk in, you're like, oh boy, I can't crack this person.
Yeah. Because they're in PR mode. Yeah.
Right.
And that happens rarely.
But I feel like you can crack them. Like, I guess what I'm getting at is, was there someone ever that, and you don't have to reveal it unless you'd like to, but that you were brick wall, and then
that's definitely happened.
Yeah,
I mean, it's revealed by the episode, but it's almost always what you said. It's somebody pitched them the show, and it's always better. Like Brett Goldstein from Ted Lasso, he plays I always blank on his character's name, the mean guy.
Okay. I've not yet seen Ted Lasso. I hear great things.
Paul has a shirt that says I have not seen Ted Lasso.
Do you?
I do. It says, I'm sorry, I've not seen Ted Lasso.
That's really funny. In 1985, my friend Michael Levinson had a shirt that said Batman sucks. It was just like the 80s, or maybe it was the early 90s, but it was around that time. Everyone was talking about the Keaton Batman. Anyway, Roy Kent is his character's name. I got an email and they were like, he's a fan of the show. And I was like, bullshit. And then sometimes it goes the other way and they really are. And they're like, how's Val? And you're like, okay, here we go. But every once in a while you'll get somebody, it's not that salacious, but like, I remember Elizabeth Gilbert when she did it she wrote Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah.
In the first hour, I was like, oh, this is press. Like she's doing press. And she's very good at doing press.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But then what you always have, and I didn't make this up, but what you always have is a little trick called hour 2. And when you roll into that second hour, no one can do it. I've yet to meet someone that can stay in character for 2 hours.
Right, you broke them. Because I think at a certain point that they
sounds
feel
so
like,
mean, but yeah, kind of.
It's like a hostage thing. It's like you fall in love with your captor. You're like, well, I guess there's no getting out. So,
but also, but it's also like they just feel comfortable, because they don't know what they're. I mean, like I don't know, Pete, if you're doing these in your house again now, or if you're doing them virtually. Yeah. So I mean, you're having a stranger into your home, and that person, it takes a while for them to feel comfortable and warm up.
It's basic. This is one of my biggest talking points. Meaning, I just in life, I love talking about this. Podcasting, Sarah Schaefer had such a funny tweet about podcasting. He was like, I love how punk rock and grassroots and back to basics podcasting is. Nobody tells me what the fuck to do, and it's real rock and roll. Please buy some Brooklinen sheets. It was like the funniest tweet. And she's totally right in the sense that like, and I have advertisers too. They're all things that I actually use and like. That's how I sort of justify it to myself. But one of the things that I don't understand why we've sort of allowed the corporatization of podcasting is that we're like, show should be 60 minutes. I don't understand.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And the example I always give is if you listen to David Letterman on Here's the Thing with Alec Baldwin, at 60 minutes, Alec, who's great, by the way, this isn't shit on him. He's just doing what everybody does. He's like, well, we're out of time. And it's like,
you're not out of time. You're not out of time. You got as much time as you want. You got as many episodes as you'd like.
And I understand that you're Alec Baldwin. You probably have to get on a helicopter and go shoot something. But like, could you schedule 2 hours for David Letterman? Because, not to bring it back to our former point, at some point we won't have David Letterman. And that will be one of the few times that I heard David Letterman be like, oh, I don't have to go. And he's like, well, I do. The studio's rented.
That's why I love Howard Stern. I've been listening to Howard Stern since I was a kid, and the show's gotten progressively better because it's now there's no commercials. It is podcasting. You know, the interviews go as long as he can go. And what I do love, there was one interview, I won't say who it was, because it is a little bit embarrassing, but he was trying to get something out of her. She wasn't giving it. And I felt there was a moment where she felt like, oh, maybe I let him down. Like I didn't give him enough stuff. And he was like, all right, well, we're out of, thank you for being here. You're great. And this person just unloaded. It was like the dump truck just opened and went on for another 45 minutes, but she was out the door.
Yes.
And I know her. And she was like, I don't know what happened. I escaped and I went back in and I dumped all the stuff that I didn't want to dump.
Well, I don't spend a lot of time thinking this way because I'm a performer. So it's really it's modeled after myself. It's not like a mousetrap. It's just like, look, it just is what it is. You know, when kids are at the pool and they're like, watch me dive, watch me dive. Yeah. I'm sorry, but that's what the three of us do for a living. We're watch me dive. And I'm not gross about it. Like when I'm at a party, I don't want people to watch me dive. Like I've achieved some balance, but deep down, I want you to watch me dive.
Well, okay, this ties into what I was just talking to Rob about before you got on here, which now I think it will actually be great. So I'm just gonna pull this back up for a second. So for my son's Twanch birthday party, we got this foam. We did this like foam party thing.
Good for you.
And everything in my person was like, I want to go in the. Let me fix this the right way. I want to jump in that foam. I want to go in that foam.
Of course.
But I knew.
Was it spermicidal foam?
Yes, and then that's why it's cheaper. But it's also for COVID times. It's actually really safe. It keeps the kids really clean.
COVIDcidal foam.
Yeah, just make sure because you never know what those kids have on. They got a lot of germs.
Hey, Science, can we get a better name than spermicidal? By the way, just like sperm is just in there.
Yeah, sperm killing foam.
Sperm killing foam.
That's my Halloween costume this year.
Paul, will that kill my grass if I do that for my daughter's birthday? It's
just soapy water.
Okay. So yes.
Like, I just did I don't know. Does soapy water kill grass? I wouldn't do it on grass because I think it would get really messy.
But if you do it on a driveway, aren't they going to fall down and hit their head? It's like
that was the drive. We did it on a driveway. I've had friends who've done it on grass and they said it's great. It really is light. It's just.
But my daughter, my daughter. My daughter's 4. She gets drunk. She gets so drunk, and if she falls,
wine coolers.
Your daughter's 4, Rob. My daughter's
isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
It's
so
5.
Crazy.
5?
Yeah.
5.
Wow.
But I guess what I was saying was like at this foam party.
By the way, people in the chat think that your kid, but we always use code names for Paul's kids. Yeah. Twanch and Vanilla Ice.
Yeah. I caught Twanch and I was like, I guess
people in the chat are like, are his kids really named Twanch? And
yes, Twanch. But when I wanted to get in and then immediately was like, I can't do this because then I am that dad who got into the like no other adults are in the foam. I was embarrassed. Like I held myself back from my natural inclination to be like, I want to play in the foam because it's like fun. My kids are in the foam. We're having a good time. But I couldn't do it. And then the other day, my kids were playing soccer and there was a handful of kids and they were like, we need another hand. I jumped in there with my kids. It was so much fun. But it was a smaller group. It was necessary for me to jump in. But even then, like I feel guilty trying to be like that dad, like that Here I'm gonna go get in the foam now. I don't want to be that dad. Like I wrestle with that, not wanting to be that dad.
Look, first of all, I love and respect your choice not to be that dad. I think that's beautiful. But more, I want to love and respect your initial and your purer, and I'm gonna say your higher self instinct to get in that foam. Because this just happened. My Leela's cousin, my niece. She just had a birthday party and they had one of those things, no foam, but it was one of those blow up things and water and water cannons and stuff. I'm that dad. I get in that fucking cannon. I'm all wet. And it was the best until the boys show up. And do you have a boy?
Yeah, 2.
This is why maybe stay the fuck out of that foam, because I was having a great time. I'm picking kids up and throwing them around. One boy shows up. The whole thing gets totally side fucked. They just want to kick me in the balls and knock me over. They're evil. I understand gender is a spectrum, but at this party, these boys were hyper masculine and they wanted blood. They were like hitting me with their elbows. The girls were like, after that, we were playing this game that was this. Tell me this isn't true. You're just gonna know this is a true story. We're playing. The girls were pretending to give me food, and I would eat it and pretend like it was really spicy. That's what it's like.
I do it all the time. All the time. Yep.
Oh, geez.
It's too hot. It's too hot.
I do this too. So like my boys are on that side of the spectrum.
Okay, good. Well, keep them gentle, please, because these insane Bakersfield boys. I'm just kidding, but we were in Bakersfield. I'm just kidding. I'm not generalizing. These boys at this party started taking the food and like.
Someone's there. Who is it?
It's
someone shut up. It's Twanch. There he is.
I told you, get out of here, kid.
Usually they're naked.
The internet having
he is naked. He's naked. He's fully naked.
Fully nude. Anyway, the boys started like breaking my teeth with the food and going, eat it. And I'm like, this game went from adorable and look, the girls seemed so excited that we had found something like an improv game.
Yeah, it's just a game. Yeah, we can all play this game. Yeah.
This one is sweet. Thank you very much. And they just turned it into make this bitch bleed.
Yeah.
Hurt him.
Look at him. Look at these guys. Look at these guys.
I told you, no kids in this house. Get out of here. Go back to work. Get out of here.
Get back to the coal mines.
Get back to the coal mines. Get out of here. We don't like kids here. Okay.
I like the soft focus you have. Oh my God. Look at the deep focus.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Scheer's got like the most amazing rig. He's got like, look at him. Yeah.
Good looking man. Little man.
Yeah.
Now put on some pants. It's not one of those dirty streams that you watch. Yeah,
Rob,
get out of here.
You look like you're in one of the sex condos in Blue Valentine.
I am. Yeah. No, Scheer and I have the exact opposite rigs. Scheer has like, James Cameron shooting him and lighting him, and like James Cameron. I'm in my garage and I bought this like metal stuff from Home Depot.
It is the future rig. I thought that was Venetian blinds just looking like just sheet metal. That's
it really is. He has like a soft focus camera and like he's lit from several angles.
Look at that face. That's the face. If I hit my dad in the back of the head,
they know they're on camera. God. They don't act like this normally. Because their mother's not around. I mean, their mother's right here. She's right here. She's here.
Where, Paul? Where is she? We haven't seen her.
Go back to your mother.
We haven't seen her in so long.
They're not running around the house because there's no parental figure here while I stream.
It makes total sense that they're running wild because their mother is in a prison camp somewhere, a Scientology prison camp.
It's not a prison camp. It's not a prison camp. She's not in a prison camp.
Well, let us just see her. Why don't you just let us see her?
What do you need to see June for? She doesn't. She's here
to prove that she's alive.
See you, June.
It would just put to rest so many questions.
She just came in and left.
It would put to rest.
Children, where is mother?
Do you want to do your own impression?
Oh yeah. You
want to do your pug impression? No. Okay, there you go. All right, I'll see you in a little bit.
These
you
guys
need to withhold your love long enough until the compulsion arises that you will do his impression on command.
Yeah, he has a couple. He has a couple of. This is all right. This is too long now. Get out of here. Get out. Go.
Which one of them has the conch?
That's Twanch.
Twanch is the younger one, and Vanilla Ice is the older one. Vanilla Ice is named. Yeah, Vanilla Ice is named for the rapper Vanilla Ice.
Yeah,
Paul's a huge fan.
Yeah, I love him. I'm a ICP forever.
That is
one of the best. One of the best.
He's named after the rapper Vanilla Ice.
I mean, yeah. Pete, Pete, I saw that you on Instagram. I saw that you performed at Largo. Is that the first time you have? Paul and I did a show at Largo a couple weeks ago, and it was like the first time I'd performed live in a year and a half, and it felt so good, but it was so strange. And I now I don't know, like, will we do more? Is it, what the deal is? And was that your first time back, or have you been doing stuff?
No, I was at Lollapalooza.
Oh wow!
What?
No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. 100%. There's like an outdoor venue in Hollywood that I've done maybe a dozen times.
I've heard a lot of people do that. The parking lot venue, right?
Yeah, Supernova.
Yeah.
That's fun. And then I've done my own Largo twice, and I've done other people's Largos.
Your Largo had a very giant moment. I think at your Largo, there was like, if there is a vortex of pandemic interest, Phoebe Bridgers and Bo Burnham both were at your show. Like, the two things that people were the most obsessed about, I think, during the pandemic, besides Schitt's Creek, like that, like you put them in one show, and I feel like the picture of that made people's minds explode.
Yeah, I tried tweeting language like, you're not going to want to miss it. But the problem is it's Boy Who Cried Wolf stuff, because performers are always tweeting like, tickets running out, and no, they are not. All these lies. And I was like, no, guys, really, like, for real. And one of the best parts was the crowd didn't know who was going to be there. And to tell them, like, I can't overhype this. Like, you should be excited. Like, you should be really excited, because this is going to be one of those nights where you actually go like, it over delivered.
I like that's the whole promise of, I think, Largo is Largo will always give you a good show, but then there are nights at Largo where you're like, oh my God, I saw this. I saw.
Well, Flanny's so smart about that. He's like, just just tell people they're going to be blown away, but just don't tell them who it is, and then people come. And, I feel like especially nowadays, like if you're going to fucking take the risk to go to a show, they can't hear me, Paul, right? I was just swearing. Sorry. Okay. If you're going to take the risk to go to a show, and, especially right now, like, you want to have a fun time and see a great show. So I think Largo's so smart about that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. I have Twanch has a message here for you. What do you want me to say, Twanch?
Yeah.
Torch is in? Okay. I'm being instructed to do this. Torch is in.
I don't know what that means.
Did
you gotta get out of here. Get out of here.
Sleeper cell of 5-year-olds? Like, are they gonna go storm the Lunchables? What do kids eat?
I don't know what he was trying to do. He told me yesterday that he knows what he wants to do when he grows up, and we said, "What's that?" And he said, "I want to be a pug actor." And I said, "What does that mean?" He's like, "I want to be an actor who impersonates pugs." So I thought that was a lovely thing. Pete, by the way, I know we've kept you for way too long.
No, it's okay. You saw me just notice that Val is coming out, because we're gonna go on a date.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Do your date.
By the way, let me just say, one of the shows we rewatched in the pandemic was Transparent, and Rob, you're just so good.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
More embarrassingly, we rewatched X-Men Magneto, which I know I'm in it.
But dude, I just hung out with your makeup artist, Kat Bardot. I'm shooting the Reno 911 movie this week, and she's doing makeup on the Reno movie. And great. Everyone's masked, so I can't tell who anyone is, but she has all these awesome tattoos all over her arm.
Yes.
And she was like, "Hey, it's Kat," and I was like, "Hey," and she was like, "I did Pete's show," and I was like, "Whoa, what's up?" But
that's great.
Yeah,
I know
that was a fun bit
that I watched it, but during the pandemic, I think we all experienced this. There was no Pete Holmes. I was not him. It was not me. I could throw on my own special and be like, "Who's this motherfucker? This guy."
I know.
He has my ticket.
Steve Martin had the best joke, which was like he wore a thing like a little bonnet that just said "I'm Steve Martin" over because he's like he was upset that he wasn't getting recognized, so he almost like a birthday hat that just said "I'm Steve Martin."
Well, you know, there's one person in Hollywood who got recognized more during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it's the guy who played Wilson in Home Improvement.
And with that, Pete, I mean, we can't top that. We started on a Big Bang joke. We're getting out on a Home Improvement one. We really run the gamut. Listen to You Made It Weird, wherever you listen to your podcast. Follow Pete Holmes. See his shows in LA. Come and do our show, Pete. We're going to do Crash Test again at Largo soon. We're going to try to start doing it up monthly.
We have a live You Made It Weird on August 19th, and that'll have... I'm not hinting, it's not going to be Phoebe, but we'll have great music and a big guest, and that'll be me and Val.
I am very excited about that.
Yeah. Awesome, buddy.
Pete, thanks for having me. I love seeing you. This is so
dude, I'm so psyched to see you, man. Yeah, I can't wait to see you in person. Yeah,
I can't wait to. Let's please make it happen.
See you later.
Okay, buddy.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
I feel bad we kept him for so long, but he was.
I did too. I forgot. Yeah.
Conversation.
What a good dude. Yeah, I haven't seen him in forever. It's so nice to like see people again. Oh my god.
I know it's the easiest way to do it on the show because they don't have to leave their house, and but it is hard. It's hard to like. I mean, we were talking about this before. It's like, are we seeing people? Are we not seeing people? I don't know. I had dinner last night with people. I haven't really even been out to a restaurant in LA. I think maybe twice.
I've only been. I think I've been one time to a restaurant, and it's so weird right now.
To me, and it's like I haven't eaten at Olive Garden. I mean, well, like for 18 months, and I'm
and that's your place. That's your place.
That's my spot.
But it's because you saw my commercial.
That's how I fell in love with it.
Because
I always say I want to treat myself. I want to treat myself right. I want to respect my body.
Yeah. I mean, I in the commercial that I did for Olive Garden, I don't think I said treat your body right. I don't think that was part of it. I think I did say part of the
Olive Garden gets me hard. Is that it?
No, Paul, that's not it. I said, and I'm not here to plug Olive Garden. I'm no longer on their payroll.
Fuck you, Sabaros. Olive Garden rules. I know one of them is right.
I think I said the waitress came over and said, is it a special occasion tonight? A birthday, anniversary? And I said, no, I said, no, just Monday. So you can go to Olive Garden for any.
I actually wrote a fan fiction script of that ad where then the waitress goes in the back and calls the manager and says, this guy's being weird with me. Can you maybe
can I back up for just a second? So you write fan fiction for commercials.
Yeah, like where does it go at? Because we only get a glimpse.
Yeah, you get 30 seconds.
And for me, as a I'm always like, well, where does the story go? Yes, they've called each other on the phone, but where does it what happens in the conversation? Or yes, she's cleaned that stain out of the pants, but what happens when the person sees the pants for the first time? Those are the kind of questions I have.
So who is reading this? Is it popular? Like I actually haven't seen this. I know you do a lot of different projects.
They're up on sites, erotic fan fiction sites. Most of them are housed there.
Okay.
Because
in my commercial, just for example, what happened? So
yours is actually very chaste because she goes to complain to the manager, and
the waitress at Olive Garden goes,
and then the manager comes over to the table to talk to you about being a little bit weird to the waitress by saying that thing about Monday. She thought it was like you're being like flirty or.
In the commercial, I'm with my wife. I mean, the commercial was.
Well, I
15 years ago. I'm surprised that you even remember it.
I made it your sister. And because you wasn't
the woman I'm on a date with, you made that my sister.
There's nothing in the words that were on screen or the way that you acted it that made me think that was a romantic relationship.
That's true.
So I said it's your sister, and and Monday is a special night for you and your sister because that was the night that you always had pasta.
Okay, so the waitress goes over to her manager and says, "Hey, this guy's hitting on me." And then what happened in your story?
The manager locks eyes with you, and you lock eyes with the manager, and there's something there, a charge, a spark, and he puts his hand down on the table, and then you just with your fingertips touch his fingertips.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into all this.
Okay, all right.
I'm not interested in hearing all of this. People in the chat are asking or saying that we should show the commercial. I don't know.
I would love
to.
You know, Rob, there's ferociously knocking at my door. I think one of my children have locked themselves out. I have to just go open my door.
Okay.
1 second.
Okay, I'll fill time. Guys, it's just me now, and every now and then this happens on the show where, you know, the real talent has to step up and take over. And so I will. I'm happy to. I want to address the previous segment, which we loosely called Paul's erotic fan fiction for Rob's old commercials. People in the chat, hold on, are saying, did I do a commercial? Yes, I did do a voiceover for a commercial for Jimmy John's.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, someone in the chat was at Paul. Sorry, Paul, while you were gone, I was trying to address the fact that you made it weird. Now I'm looping back to Pete's podcast. You made it weird about the erotic fan fiction of my commercial. I was addressing that and trying to clear the air.
There's nothing weird about it. I thought it was beautiful that this manager and you shared this moment, and your sister looks at you and says, go for it. And she gets up to go to the bathroom.
One or two.
She's never two, but she's not coming back.
My sister gets up at the Olive Garden to go take a poop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she never comes back.
Shit. I always say take a shit. It's poop seems so juvenile.
Sure.
Yeah. So she goes.
By the way, Molly says our guest is ready. Okay. Not our 6:30 guest. Our
okay. Well, you know what? Let's get back into the erotic fan fiction. This guest I'm actually very excited about. This is well, I mean, in many respects, somebody we've never really had on the show before. It's they have a brand new Twitch channel. Called well, they're a bird. That's what you need to know.
We're about to bring on a bird. Yeah.
Yes. Corvus Twig. Oh, hey Molly. This is Molly. Hi Molly. You are muted. You're muted. And let's give Molly a little bit of love. It was Molly's birthday this week.
Molly, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
The best. Molly's the best.
You.
Don't watch a sleepover.
Molly, how are the ratings so far on the show?
Looks like we have about 6.3 million people watching.
Wow.
So
oh my God.
That's a good haul. That is a good haul.
Good number.
But Molly,
are you casually eating a popsicle?
Yeah, I'm 16 and I got the vaccine so I can go to the clubs. I didn't want to correct you, Paul, but we do not have a bird right now. We have somebody from down under.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Molly. Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
A little bit of confusion. So Rob, we have a lot of different people here. And this gentleman, Brissy Joe, is an Australian gentleman who is going to teach us some Australian slang.
Oh, great.
So let's bring in Brissy Joe. Hey, how are you, Joe? How are you?
G'day.
Good day.
Yes.
So,
you got one. There's one right there. There's one.
And Brissy Joe is one of our moderators in the Discord. Joe, you're not often able to participate in the show because Thursday's going to Friday and you got to work, but you're not able. You're here with us now. What time is it where you are?
It is it's 11:19 in the morning.
11:19 in the morning. Wow.
So early.
On a Saturday. Yeah. And my 3-year-old daughter projectile vomited in bed last night. So I've been awake pretty long. So it's been a great it's been fun. Yeah.
Wow.
How do you deal with that with a kid vomiting? I have a couple of ways of dealing with it. Because you're also grossed out and you want to take care of him. It's a real mixed bag.
It's not fun. I had to, it was the first time in a long time I've actually had a shower so late at night and not been insanely drunk because I was just covered in my own daughter's vomit. So she was, it's a good time. But yeah, that's the crazy stuff that happens in Australia. So it's down under.
Well, I don't think that's.
Can I ask just a scientific question, and then I want to get on to the lesson. But when you vomit in Australia, does it go the other way? Because in America, they teach us that the water goes down the drain the other way in Australia. So when you vomit in Australia, does it come out like sideways, or
does it come out the wrong end?
Yeah.
It depends. Obviously of what you've eaten, but sometimes if you are laying down, it can absolutely come upwards. Okay. Like it just depends. It is Australian science, but it's we are a bit backwards.
This is what I have to say. Like obviously people have made many a joke about it. America is pretty cut off in their knowledge of the rest of the world, whereas people from other countries, they know a lot about us. We don't know a lot about them, and we brought you on here because we figured you are an expert in all things Australia. We can ask you some questions, you can tell us some facts, and you'll teach us some Australian slang. Because I think we might have used some Australian slang in the past on this show, or I feel like we might have gotten into it. But
we've definitely used shrimp on the Barbie. I know we've said that.
That's not a knife.
Already wrong.
Oh.
Shrimp on the Barbie. We don't have shrimp. We don't have shrimp in Australia. That's
what? Are you serious?
Yeah. I know, right? It's I know. It's not shrimp. It's prawns.
Prawns on the Barbie.
On the Barbie.
Right. We don't say that, but that's what it is.
Well, we've also used Paul and I love to quote one of our favorite movies is Crocodile Dundee, and we are always saying that's not a knife, this is a knife. We do that a lot.
I mean, what do you think about that? Like that Crocodile Dundee is being like the mascot of Australia in many ways, or at a certain point he was all we knew. Sit in the opera house and Crocodile Dundee. Did he represent you well?
I guess so, because I think he made everyone think they could sort of speak Australian as well, which was not great, because the impressions that I've heard, actually, it sounds more like your LA Statham that I've heard than that's what the Australian accents sound like. But it's not the worst thing to have Paul as our mascot, but like I said, shrimp on the Barbie, that killed us straight from the start.
And is Foster's Australian for beer mate?
No, Foster's is another wrong. Foster's is like, so imagine, what is your shittest beer? Is it like, to us, American beer is Budweiser. That is American beer to us. So our Budweiser is Foster's. We don't drink it. We just send it to the world and say, enjoy Australia. It's not great. It's not great.
I actually bought like an oil can of it relatively recently. Going like, oh, you know what? I haven't drank a Foster's, and I feel like I was like even in the mood to get a little drunk, so I was like, I'm gonna drink this oil can of this thing, and I was like, this is disgusting. It really was.
What about? I mean, tell me, please tell me that everyone in Australia eats at Outback Steakhouse every night, because that is my favorite restaurant. What?
Wrong.
What?
And here's the biggest one. What the fuck is a bloomin' onion? I don't know what that is.
That's not an Australian thing.
That is nothing. We do not have a bloomin' onion. What is it? Like, literally, tell me what it is, and I'll tell you how insane that is.
It's a fried onion. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
I thought that was a delicacy. Right? All right. Well, what are some, like, maybe you can clue us in? How can we impress our Australian friends? Are there dirty words? Are there things that we should know? Like, give us a couple things to take with us.
Easy thing with Australia is we're pretty easy-going. Like, we are easy to talk to. So if you we also do swear a bit. We are basically penal colonies we're all convicts basically. So we don't mind swearing. So if you swear at us, we're not really going to get offended. Like, some of the worst words you can say, pretty much almost endearing in our country. So like I think Jim Jeffries even made a career out of it. So like, that's pretty much like he just marketed how we talk over here. if you know the words, like it's the way I'm speaking now, I can say yeah, nah, yeah, and that literally means yes. You can say the same two words which are opposite to each other, but it means one word. It's the most confusing thing ever, but that's the way we speak.
Means yes.
Yeah, nah, yeah means yeah. So too many words just to mean one word. Okay. But as well, like bogan is a very big term here, and it's an endearing term to lower socioeconomic people, which in turn is possibly like rednecks in America. That's the same sort of slang term for it. Like, but they love being called bogans. They love it. Like it's like almost like a badge of honor.
Like they want to be called.
It's insane. But
the bloomin' onion thing, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Can you confirm that kangaroos are real and they live in Australia?
Some of the people might actually know this. They are real, and on my way to work last week, 2 nights in a row, I actually hit a kangaroo. That's how they are like deers, or like in certain parts of your country, kangaroos here will literally jump onto the main roads just from the bushes around, because they're that popular everywhere. We don't ride them to school or work or jump in their pouches, but
you don't ride them. I thought everyone
and they're not punching.
They punch. They will punch the shit out. They'll kick you into next week. They are vicious. Man. Yeah. And koalas, they're everywhere as well, and they're always high, and they've all got chlamydia. So that's fantastic for Australia as well. So
they've got chlamydia?
Yeah, man. Yeah, they're all just a freaky bunch of freaks. They are.
Wait, did you also say they're high?
Yeah, because they eat eucalyptus all the time. It's because they're always in eucalyptus trees. So they're just constantly. That's why they look like they're sleeping all the time. They're just ripped. They're just baked off their head the whole time in the tree.
So now, because they all have chlamydia, you can't have sex with them anymore. No one's having sex with the koalas.
Yeah, not since the 80s. So like, it's pretty much like there was a big sort of thing that went around the 80s, and that's when we're all like, all right, no more fucking koalas, because that might go down wrong. So cover your ears, kids. But
it's crazy.
I need to ask you a question.
Sure.
Because I always find it interesting to hear your version of an American accent. Can you do an American accent?
It depends though, because to us, stereotypical American accent is actually a Southern accent. That's what the weird thing is. Like all the rest of the world, or down under, our version of your accent is sort of like that. As bad as that sounds, like it's like, come on down to Dixie's and have it, and you're like, really, like I know people don't sound like that, like that's not how it is, but that's what we hear. It's just insane, unless you're trying to go for a drama and be like Nicole Kidman and speak some sort of weird half language. Like,
I like that though. I like that what we are exporting is just like terrible redneck Americana.
Go.
I have a couple questions from the chat. People said to ask you about drop bears. What are drop bears?
Do you want the real answer? Because drop bears are technically koalas. It's just been something that's blown out of proportion, because it's what they used to tell backpackers, that there was literally large bears in trees that would drop on you at night. But it was just it's a story that is it's bullshit.
Okay, there are no drop bears. This is really great. I want to say.
We got to ask this too. This is a great one. How we are all here in love with the cartoon Bluey on is that big in Australia, or is that like
okay, so true fact, and I'm gonna do a Paul plug. It's actually based from where I live. Bluey is based in Brisbane, so I'm Brizzy Joe because of Brisbane, and you'll see all the landmarks. So where I used to work was right next to Ludo, who made Brizzy and Bluey. and it's literally huge here. It's the biggest show ever. It beat the Wiggles, which was Wiggles used to be the biggest thing ever.
Yes.
So it beat the Wiggles, and now, and I've heard in America now some people are starting to get upset because of Peppa Pig and Bluey sort of making their kids speak.
Yes.
Worse. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Kids are speaking with accents now because of the show.
Yeah,
My kids love both. I always say that Bluey reminds me of like, it's like Catastrophe, the Sharon Horgan, Rob Delaney show mixed with Peppa Pig. It's the perfect combination because I feel like there are jokes in there for parents that I'm like, I'm all in on this.
Yeah, it's made by the dad. The dad, Bluey, is actually a musician from a long time band in Australia. So it's almost like it's from its perspective of the dad's comedy. Like it's almost like living with kids. It's like that's what it's like. But yeah, like everyone, like I've literally got a my size Bluey shirt there that I got for Father's Day because that's how big it is here that adults wear Bluey stuff. Like I don't know if that's even good, but yeah, so
that's great.
That's it.
I love this. Brissy Joe, what a pleasure it is to have you on the show.
Thank you
for all your work.
Thank you very much.
Moderating
that's right.
and teaching us about Australia. Is there anything you want to impart with us before we let you go? Is there anything that we missed that you want to share with us?
You don't have enough time, but I just want to say cheers, mate.
Yes.
Thank you, Brissy Joe.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Man, that was helpful. That was really helpful. Well, Paul, I want to say something to you because I feel like up until this point in the show, we've been having a great time. And I've really enjoyed everything that's happened so far in the show, our chit chat. I thought the opening bit we did, the Friday the 13th stuff, I thought that was groundbreaking. You know,
really,
like I'm
characters now.
I might put that on my reel. So we did that. We did some small talk straight into Pete, did an extended interview with Pete Holmes, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
Straight into a pretty funny bit that we improvised about the fan fiction of my commercials.
Great stuff. Yeah.
Came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. Great comedy. Kaplow, right down under to Brizzy Joe teaching us about Australia.
Tomorrow. He's in Saturday.
So all this is to say that I've been having a great time.
Oh man, I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah.
There is something that is bothering me, and it's been bothering me for a long time, and it's this issue with June. And I know that like we've been joking around about
my wife. Yeah,
say it the right way.
My wife.
Okay,
that's Australian.
I have become obsessed with trying to find her and trying to solve the mystery of where is she? And so I said earlier that I don't have a podcast.
If you want to find her, Rob, come over.
I don't like this. I'm not trying to ruin our friendship, certainly this show, Paul, for me is so profitable and is how we make tons and tons and tons of money every week. So I don't want to blow it up, but at the same time, I have this side project, a podcast called Where's June, which I've been secretly recording for a long time. And to that end, I want you to know that every episode that we've been recording where we mention June will be part of the podcast. Please don't do this. I don't like this.
I wish you would have told me about the podcast, Rob.
I'm telling you now that I have a podcast called Where's June.
Listen to it.
What?
I'd love to listen to it.
Well, it's on, it's not out yet, but when it's out, I'll tell you about it. But I want to tell you that your answers have not sufficed about where she is, because even today you had the opportunity, Paul. Your kids are running in there. All June had to do was walk by in the background and all of this would go away, but you won't address it head on.
How much proof do you need that my wife is alive and not in a bamboo cage in my basement? And by the way, if she was in a bamboo cage in my basement, that's where she is.
Paul, I'm worried about June.
What have you been asking me to do? What have you been asking me to do?
I've asked you to have her appear on camera, address the situation, clear the air, have her leave a message. Okay. I emailed you this week and I said, if you can provide me with a voicemail message from her,
I have that.
All of this would go away, but you've left me no choice.
Let me see here. Hold on one second. I got it right here. Check. Okay. Here is. Get ready to be wrong. I'm so sorry to, wreck your little
What
podcast.
What are you gonna play?
This is a message from June to everybody here on the show. I would have done a video, but my camera was broken. Okay, here we go. Hi, this is June. Can you hear it?
Put it on speaker.
All right, let me see. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, hold on one second. I have to raise up the volume here.
It doesn't sound like her.
Let's see. Hold on one second. Let's see.
Hi, this is June. I am in love with my husband, Paul Scheer. He's so great. I love him on the Rob and Paul show on Thursdays. I follow him on TikTok and Instagram at Paul Scheer. And it is August the 13th. And I love 13th because I'm into scary movies. Peace out, y'all.
That was June.
No, it's not. No, it's not, Paul. I'm not.
She said the date. What other proof do you need?
Paul,
you plug my TikTok.
June would not say, I love my husband, Paul Scheer, on Thursdays with Rob and Paul. Why would she plug?
Because she knew it was a performative. It's like just what.
But she would have said like Black Mondays or, the League or something more high profile than our Twitch show. Regardless, it didn't even sound like her. It sounded like you. Here's where I'm going, Paul. You've left me no choice. So for my podcast, I've hired a private investigator.
What?
I've hired a private detective to get to the bottom of this. And so against all of my own instincts for what our friendship, I know our friendship is very fragile right now, but I'm bringing the detective on the show right now to talk to you. This is Detective Bob Druk, and he's gonna ask you some questions, and legally, Paul, you have to answer them. Welcome, Detective. How are you?
Rob.
Can you? Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
Paul.
I can hear you. Yeah. Hi. How are you?
Hi.
Now he's muted. You weren't muted before.
Probably doesn't have his earbuds in or something. I don't know.
No, we can't hear him. You're muted.
No.
Maybe just.
We don't need to do this, Rob.
No, we're gonna do it, Paul. Maybe if he turns off his earbuds, just turn them off. Yeah. Okay, I still can't hear him. You might have to go back to your audio settings. This isn't going the way I thought it would go, Paul.
Hold on. I just want to.
But you can see how serious. There he is. There he is.
You hear me?
Yeah. Now you're in for it, Paul. This is Detective Bob Druk. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Yeah, that was kind of interesting that suddenly my audio was muted before.
I don't control any of this stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't. It was working perfectly fine before I got on, but yeah, just really happy to be here. Hey, Rob. Hey, Paul. How's it going, Paul?
Great. It's going great.
So, Detective, as you know, we've talked.
Can I ask you a question, Detective?
Yeah, please.
Retired or still in the force?
So I took a leave of absence.
Interesting.
Recently.
He shot a kid, Paul. If that's where you're going, he shot a kid.
I read about it.
Okay. So, yeah, maybe you read about it. It was an accident.
It can happen to everybody.
Yeah. The point is, he's still a detective. Don't try to discredit him, Paul.
Okay.
They have not taken away my license yet. Okay. So yeah, I've served over 20 years.
I have nothing to hide.
Great. If you have nothing to hide, then you won't mind answering a few questions, would you?
No.
Okay. Yeah, these are pretty simple questions, so we'd really appreciate if you would cooperate.
Well, I didn't know he was doing this.
Who are you talking to?
Nobody.
It's all admissible. It's all evidence, Paul. It's all evidence. Everybody can see this. Everyone can see this.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Was that?
Who are you talking to?
I'm not talking to anyone. Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Hold on. There's somebody at my door. Hold on 1 second. You pull her up from sector 12. You pull her up from sector 12 right now.
What?
I need to have fucking proof. God damn it.
Sector 12.
Sorry, just something with my lights.
Yeah, could you? What? We heard something about pull her up from sector 12.
I don't know. That may have just been a weird thing. Molly, was there a weird? I think there's probably a weird thing going on. I was.
All right. So let's just get into these questions, Paul. True or false? Is your wife in a Scientology labor camp right now?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
That's a Brissy Joe Todd. No. No.
Okay.
Yes, she's not in that.
Uh-oh. Is the detective muted again? Can you? Yeah, we can hear you, detective. Sorry. Go ahead.
Let me repeat that question that Rob just asked you. Is your wife in a Scientology?
Well, I mean, I just asked him that. So,
okay, can I just ask a question to both of you?
No, Paul, you're not here to ask the questions. The detective is. I'm paying him a lot of money.
Okay, great.
Okay. Do you have any idea how expensive it is to hire a private detective? It's a lot.
A disgraced detective?
He's not disgraced. He's not disgraced. He's on a leave of absence for an accidental shooting.
It was really
How many times? How many times have you
We don't need to. He's not on trial, Paul.
Almost 11. That's
11 times.
These are all irrelevant. Go ahead, detective, if you have another question.
When was the last time you saw your wife?
The last time I saw my wife, my beautiful wife that I love, it was earlier today. We do something every morning, which is we recommit our love to each other, and we over Zoom redo our vows every Friday. So we were together right here in this computer station redoing our vows.
That's actually kind of touching.
No, detective. No. Detective.
I love my wife.
To me, that's. Can I, Paul? Will you take yourself out so I can speak to the detective privately?
I have no control over that, Molly.
Molly, will you take Paul out so I can speak to the detective for just a second? Detective.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not a detective. I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job, but he just said he recommits his vows over Zoom. If he's in a relationship with his wife and she's fine and she's at his house, why are they doing it over Zoom? Right? Why would they just?
Yeah, it's COVID, and everybody's doing Zoom these days. Everything's virtual.
No, but they're married. They live at the same address. I mean, just pay attention. No offense, but
all right. Yeah, I got it.
I'm not yelling at you. You seem like a nice guy, but okay, Molly.
I don't care what it costs. I don't care what it costs. Just clean her up and get her back here.
Paul.
Wait. Hello, Paul.
Clean her up and get her back here.
Yeah.
The dog. The dog fell in some mud. Clean up the dog.
Wait, what kind of dog you got?
Shetland dog.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not a detective. That's not a dog. A Shetland pony.
Next question.
All right. Okay. Yeah, we'll come at you. Paul. So.
Gotcha.
Vanilla Ice doing earlier in your room?
Huh? Vanilla Ice, my oldest son, actually was given permission by his wonderful mother, the wife that I so love so much, to run around the house. A lot of the times, we believe in, we call it no walls parenting. So we let the kids do whatever they want for 1 hour a day, and that was when he was on his no walls parenting. And it corresponds to a lot of the time when Rob and I are live online. No walls parenting. Look it up. It's Nicole Walls is the writer of it. Now you would think like walls, no walls, like literally walls. Her name is Walls. Yeah.
I heard the last name's Walls and it's no walls parent.
Right. So it's not about there's no walls in the house. It's more like it's her. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I like that. Yeah.
Detective. Come on. Let's keep going. Don't get sidetracked by Paul's charm.
Okay.
Okay. So what about the voicemail? What about that voicemail? Like that. I mean, sorry to say, but that did not sound like June. To be honest, I'm being honest. That sounded a little bit like you.
All right. Truth be told,
yes.
You're right. That actually is embarrassing. That was me.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why I did it was because, June is a performer who understands her worth is in her mystery, her allure. And so she doesn't like to overexpose herself. So I was trying to satiate Rob. But I do actually have a voice clip of her. If you want,
let's hear it.
Okay, so here, this is just June.
Put it on speakerphone.
Apologizing for leaving him to go to my professional dream job, or conversely, when I was there, apologizing for having a small child at home and having to.
So there you go.
That's from a podcast, Paul. That's not proof of. That's not proof of anything. That's a recording that could be from any time.
I don't know, Detective. Can you just pop Rob out for a second?
No, don't take me out, Molly. Don't.
Please. Yeah. Okay.
Detective, I don't know what he wants. I think he's like obsessed or something. I don't know what's going on.
He does. Yeah, he does seem a little obsessed and like kind of more into like the new podcasts.
Yeah, he's talking about his own pod. Can I just share one thing with you? And I don't want to. Okay. June has been on the show a handful of times. She's talked.
She's great.
She's great. I've never seen Rob's wife on this podcast ever.
I've watched like basically every show, every episode.
Probably try to do the research and stuff. June's been on it. To me, it's like I don't ask about it because I'm a little bit nervous because it seems like he gets angry. I just haven't seen it. I get scared. I get scared to even say it. But now that he's not here, I kind of feel a little bit more free to say it.
Never even thought about that, but now that you say that, like it makes total sense. Like, and maybe that's why.
No. Hey, Rob. Did you fucking not think that I could hear you? I can hear everything you're saying, Detective. You're getting distracted and misled, but my wife has not been on the show because my wife has no interest in being on the show. Don't let him turn this around on me. My wife isn't missing.
Really?
Your wife?
What?
Prove it. Prove it.
This is a separate conversation. I'm paying you, Detective Druk, to investigate the disappearance of Paul's wife. My wife is fine. Okay. This isn't even about my wife. Look, God, this is so frustrating because nowadays all you have to do is like say, what about? And then everyone gets distracted by that.
Yeah. What about Rob's wife?
Yeah.
Look, Detective, I paid you in jet skis. You specifically asked to be paid in 3 jet skis. I sent you.
The first one broke down. The first one.
What? Wow.
I don't.
Jet skis.
I can't control what happens during shipping. You asked for 3 jet skis. I had 3 jet skis sent to you.
Only 2 work. Only 2 of them have worked so far.
Regardless, you've been paid. So I'm asking you to do your job.
I want to show him something. I want to show him something that
what is it? What is it?
Okay. I actually also hired a private investigator.
No. My wife is not missing. My wife is fine. Your wife.
So I hired a private investigator to follow Rob. Through his neighborhood where he sees Alfred Molina and other people like that. And
I did see Alfred Molina today. Let me catch the detective up on that because that is an interesting anecdote. I was at the UPS store today in Pasadena where I live, and I did see the actor Alfred Molina. It's neither here nor there, but it's kind of an interesting celebrity spotting. Have you ever seen anyone famous, detective?
You're deferring. Molly, I'm sending you something right now. Can you please put it in the slideshow? I just sent something to Molly, and I'm going to show. So Rob, not to talk about Alfred Molina, who
he's a great actor.
Arguably wrecked Spider-Man Coming Home for everybody by announcing that he was going to be in it and all that sort of stuff. But I actually had a private detective, follow Rob. I'm going to hear Molly is going to pop this right now into the.
I don't know what this is about. My wife is not missing.
No, she's not actually. And detective, 1 second. I'm just going to, once I get this from Molly, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Because you are the one under investigation here, Paul.
Okay, well, ask me another question until we,
Okay. Yeah. What is June wearing today if she's alive?
Probably.
What is she wearing?
I mean, I don't look at. I don't look at.
Show me your hands right now. I'm wearing my wedding ring. Are you wearing yours? Why aren't you wearing your wedding ring?
Because I had a lot of. I wasn't wearing it during. Okay, I don't wear my wedding ring.
Yeah,
because I do a lot of yard work. And when I'm doing the yard work, it gets caught.
It gets caught
in the weeds.
That happens to me. That makes sense. That checks out.
Detective, your job is not to let Paul off the hook. The reason you were paid is to help me investigate this. What, Paul?
Okay, detective. I had another detective who also is sadly accused of, well, not accused, he was guilty of shooting 5 kids. They are alive, but he was on leave, administrative leave. Anyway, he was able to follow Rob, and
you hired a detective to follow me. I doubt that very much.
I did, and I had him photograph Rob in his house, and he sent me this image.
Okay, that is easily explainable.
Is it, Rob? Is it that you are you dressing as your wife?
First of all, look, I am not the one being investigated here, and I can tell you this: what I do in the privacy of my own home is my business. And no one else's business. So if that is an attempt to discredit me or smear me, it's not going to work. Okay.
I have seen this woman walking around, calling herself Holly.
That's my wife. Yeah. No.
Maybe there's no Holly.
Look, I don't know what to say, frankly. Let me say this, Detective Druk, I'm very disappointed in the money that I've spent and the results that I've gotten from you. Okay, you came on the show under the agreement that we would try to nail Paul down on this, and you've done nothing but laugh at his jokes, laugh at his stories, inquire about his dog, stuff like that. So if you guys want to be friends on your own time, have at it. Strike up a great friendship, but you're not going to be getting any more jet skis from me.
Well, I mean, I was disappointed in the jet skis that I received.
They seem like they were broken, Rob.
Well, the first one didn't work, so I was a little scared with starting up the second and third ones. The second one was pretty loud, some of the and so I mean,
I can't control how loud. You didn't say that you wanted a quiet jet ski, sir.
Hey, can I just pop the detective out for 1 second? So just you and me, Rob, just to talk.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, talk to Molly. What?
I like this detective. He seems really cool and we're getting along, but
it seems like you guys are becoming fast friends.
Well, I mean, I like him everything, but he hasn't mentioned his wife the entire time we've been talking.
You bring up a good point. I mean,
Where's his wife?
Here I go paying all this money for him to investigate you and the disappearance of June. How could he do that if he is involved in the disappearance of his wife, which we don't even know.
Let's bring him in. Hey, detective.
Hey, detective. How are you, sir? Quick question for you.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
What's the status of your marriage? Where's your wife?
Oh, no, I've been happily married for a long time, over 20 years. Yeah, she's great. Like she likes jet skis.
And she's you live together, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So you've seen your wife recently, because she hasn't been on the show. We've been doing this show for a while, and your wife has not walked by in the background.
Yeah, I mean, well, she keeps to herself. She stays in her room all day.
Her room or her cage?
Whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Jesus.
You know what? I think what we're learning here, as a very important question, let's not worry about what goes on off camera for any of us. Let's all make a pact here.
So you're saying no accountability.
Let's just make a pact that what happens in our homes stays in our homes. We don't need to uncover every detail about each other.
I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Actually,
I love that. Yeah,
I like that idea. Yeah.
All right. I think this is a good idea.
All right. Cool.
This is actually really okay. Cool.
Right, so no more questions about the disappearance of anyone's wives.
Yeah. Let's not get into
Yeah. No more digging around. No more snooping. No more grilling each other.
We all got our things.
Yeah, for sure. And detective, I got to say, I mean, all work aside, you seem like a cool guy. I'd like to get a beer with you, and maybe maybe smoke some reefer and ride those jet skis, we could ride those jet skis, get really fucked up and ride those jet skis.
I got plenty of jet skis. Well, the two that work. Y'all come over. Hey, we can ride double.
That'd be fun.
One's occupied.
Hey, if you got three, I'll even take the shoddy one because I don't have to go fast. I just like to, be out on the water.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
All right, great.
Cool.
All right, bros. Let's all hook up. We'll switch out numbers, and I'm free. I'm pretty free.
Great idea.
Great
idea.
Right, bros.
All right, good to meet you, detective.
Good to meet you, detective.
My pleasure. You guys are great. Yeah.
All right, a great guy.
Peace. Yeah,
what a great guy. Yeah, he's great.
Good dude.
Yeah, I was pissed, man. I was pissed because I spent a lot of money, and I didn't think I was going to get my money's worth. But now it's like I got a new friend and a new hobby. Now we can go to his house. He lives up on the lake, so we can go up to Lake Hollywood and we can jet ski around there.
All right, let's do that. Let's have some fun.
That'd be fun. And no more questions about the wives.
No more accusing us of anything.
Right.
Rob, actually, this has been so much fun. I want to let's get ready to hang and maybe even pass the torch to one of our other good friends. Is actually starting a brand new stream tonight. It's Corvus Twig, and Corvus Twig. This one before when I was plugging that there is a bird that we're going to be rating tonight. This is the bird that we are rating.
Great.
If you'd like to see Corvus Twig. Nice. Corvus.
Oh, hello.
Oh, wow.
So you have a brand new Twitch channel?
I do. Because I feel like, I mean, you finally ended your embargo on non-human guests, and I really appreciate it.
Well, this is amazing. We're big supporters. Everybody here at Twitch, is big supporters of birds. I know it's gotten a lot of bad rep because of.
I love birds. I love birds, man. And I always feel terrible on Thanksgiving because my wife, who I love, and my wife is very much alive. She cooks up a turkey on Thanksgiving still, and I feel terrible every year.
Yeah, and I also just got to say, like, sometimes like the Twitter bird gets a lot of attention. There's not a lot of birds over here on Twitch, and what are people gonna get on your channel, Corvus?
Well, for one, we're not going to be cooking any turkeys.
Okay,
but I wanted to educate everybody on birds. So every time that I stream, I'm going to have my bird of the day. And I'll pick a different bird species, tell you a little about it.
We're gonna send people over to you right now, Corvus Twig. What are people gonna see?
Oh well, they're just gonna have to watch to see.
All right, wow, okay, I like that. We're gonna hit the thing right now, Corvus.
Yeah, then after I'm done talking about birds, I'm gonna play games.
Okay.
Tonight I'll be starting with Untitled Goose Game. You ever heard of that one?
A bird-specific game.
I have not heard of that. I have not heard of that.
That's actually a fun game, Rob. You would like it.
Cool.
All right. Well, this is great. Thank you, Corvus. Everyone, stay tuned for Corvus, who is friends with Master Twig, one of our mods as well. Thank you, Corvus. We are going to send people over to you now. We're going to send people over in a second. All right. So let's give you a proper Paul and Rob goodbye.
Thanks to Pete Holmes. Thanks to Rob Lathan.
What a great.
Thanks to Brizzy. Who else was on the show?
I mean, we had
Molly. Thanks to Molly, of course. Yep.
Happy birthday, Molly.
Happy birthday.
And it seems like everything is working great. Rob, a pleasure. We will see you all again next week.